Hi guys, this is Dawn with Furtastic Friends, and today I'm coming to you with another recipe. Please forgive me, I am still not feeling good. So if you hear some sniffling or a sneeze or a cough, there I go. So please forgive me, but I'm still trying to pump out the videos for you. Today we are making apple fritter bread, or you could also call it a cake. And it's going to be made in a loaf pan. And the first thing you need to do is go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And the ingredients will be a third of a cup of brown sugar and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon mixed together. Then a half a cup of butter, 2/3 of a cup of sugar, 2 room temperature eggs, 1½ teaspoons of vanilla, 1½ cups of all-purpose flour with 1¾ teaspoons of baking powder whisked together, a half a cup of milk, which I have sitting in the refrigerator. You will also need 2 apples peeled and chopped, and then 2 tablespoons of sugar and a tablespoon of cinnamon mixed in with the apples. Okay guys, let's get started making an apple fritter loaf cake / bread. Okay guys, now the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put your softened butter into a bowl along with the 2/3 of a cup of sugar, and we're going to mix that until they're combined and then move on to the next step. Okay, that's combined. Now we're going to add our eggs one at a time, and as you can see I have a little glass bowl here. I like to crack my eggs into that first, so to make sure I don't get any shells into the mixture. And now the next egg. And now the 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. And I'm using a half teaspoon measurement, so that means I'm going to need 3 of these to equal 1.5 teaspoons. But I'm going to leave this out because I'm probably going to use some vanilla in the glaze that we make with powdered sugar once it's done baking. And you'll need a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar for that glaze. And now let me just scrape down. Where's my spatula? There we go. Scrape down the sides. And now we're going to add in our flour mixture that has the baking powder already mixed in. And now our milk goes in. And just beat this until it's well combined. Okay, that's it. Now you need a loaf pan that has been sprayed with nonstick spray. Let me go ahead and remove my mixer, and I'm going to show you how to layer this in your loaf pan. Okay guys, now what you want to do is you want to pour half of your batter into the pan. Smooth that out. And then put half of the apples on top of that. And the brown sugar and cinnamon mixture that you put together in the beginning, sprinkle. Let me get a little, and sprinkle that over the top of the apples. But only half. Keep the other half for the top. And then take your knife and swirl this into the batter. And kind of pat everything down. Now we're going to pour the rest of the batter right on top. And do the same thing. Spread the batter. And then sprinkle the rest of the apples. Spread those out. And sprinkle the rest of your brown sugar cinnamon mixture on top. Probably could have put a little bit more of this on that other layer, but that's all right. And then now press this layer into the batter. Because you want some of these apples to go into the batter, some to stay on top. Okay, and that's it, guys. Now we're going to stick this in the oven for approximately 1 hour. Everybody's oven is different, So my suggestion would be to start checking it at maybe the 50-minute mark, because especially if your oven cooks faster than a normal oven. I will be checking mine at 50 and then keep checking it from there to make sure it's not overcooked. So when it's done, we'll be back. Okay guys, just took it out of the oven and my house smells delicious. But I need to let it cool in the pan for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'll take it out of the pan and let it cool completely before we cover it in the yummy glaze. So when that happens, we'll be back to finish up this gorgeous apple fritter cake, loaf, bread, whatever you want to call it. But I can promise you that this thing smells and it's going to be delicious. Okay guys, my apple fritter bread cake is cooled, and so now I made a glaze from half a cup of powdered sugar, a tablespoon of milk, and a quarter teaspoon of vanilla, and we're going to put this over the apple fritter loaf. Now, if you want it to be more like a real apple fritter, you can thin out this glaze with another tablespoon or two of milk and then just pour it over the loaf for a much thinner glaze like the real apple fritters are at the bakery. But I'm just going for a drizzle on mine. And mine baked for about 56 minutes. So mine did not go the full hour. Mine went for a few minutes less than an hour. Because when I checked it at 50 minutes, it was not completely done. And so I let it go for about 5 or 6 more minutes and then it was done. Okay, guys. I'm going to let that glaze sit. And then when it's time for... Ooh, yummy. When it's time to cut into this for dessert, we'll be back to give it a taste. Okay, guys. I've cut into the apple fritter bread. And I cannot wait to have a taste. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that is so good. Oh, this would be delicious with a cup of coffee. Oh yeah. That is so good. I am making this again. Oh yeah. And I'm probably going to freeze a few slices. So whenever I'm in the mood for this apple, I can take it right out of the freezer and defrost it. Oh my goodness, the texture is amazing. But one thing I can warn you about, don't use a small loaf pan. I used my smallest loaf pan, and luckily I put it on a sheet pan while it was in the oven, and so the sheet pan caught the tiny bit of overflow. So make sure you use a decent sized loaf pan when you're making this. But oh my goodness, guys. Oh, I need to go sit down so I can finish this piece of apple fritter bread. If you're new to my channel, I hope you'll subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified every time we upload a new video. And so you can see more tasty desserts and dishes like this. And as always, love, hugs, and kitty kisses. Bye, guys.